It's so funny. Seinfeld was not an emotional set for the most part. Surely, oh, it is now legendary. Over the writer's door in Latin, there was a phrase that meant no hugging, no learning. This was not a show where characters grow, where we learn things, life lessons. And that was reflected throughout every element of the show. We were a cast that was constantly, joyously, affectionately digging at each other. So much laughter, but we were not a group. We were not a social group, which is why we don't see much of each other now. We didn't shoot a show on Friday and go, hey, let's have dinner tomorrow night. We went, see you Monday. So we had no history after 9 years of socializing, and therefore we didn't immediately dump into a future of socializing. But I think Larry knows that I have an affection for him that maybe other people wouldn't normally have. It was my job to see everything about him that was magnificent and dear and wonderful and use it. And so I watched him carefully. And I think he knows that. I also tell people, right or wrong, because neither Julia, Michael, nor I really can tell you the behind-the-scenes stories of the show. We didn't spend much time there. But for my sensibility, based on what I saw when I was there, and my observations about the 7 years Larry was running the show and the 2 years he was not, I think the Seinfeld show was more Larry's show than Jerry's show. I think Larry's sensibilities carried and dictated more of the directions we took than Jerry's. And I've said that before. And whether he'll admit it or not, I think Larry appreciates that. I think he agrees with that. And I don't think most people think that. Because Jerry was all over it. And that is not to negate Jerry's contribution at all. Jerry, every cell of that show comes out of Jerry. But I kind of praise Larry in a way that I'm not sure most other people do. And so I have as close to an affectionate relationship with Larry as anyone in the Seinfeld milieu is going to have with him. And I found working with him kind of great. It was like dealing with a family member. I worked with the most difficult man in the world when I worked with Jerry Robbins, and I was unafraid. So I was unafraid of Larry David. And I think that was kind of fun for him. It was just kind of fun. There were 2 times where I confronted Larry with a problem. And in retrospect, I'm not terribly proud of either one of them. But as I say, when Julia first came onto the show, I was a little threatened by that. Because I thought the 3-person show had become a 4-person show, and I really thought she and I were 2 sides of the same coin, and I wasn't sure if that was going to be interesting. And I had no fantasies about a television career. I was a theater guy. So this was a detour for me. I didn't know if it was going to have longevity, but as long as I was doing something that I was having a great time with, I was fine taking this detour. And now this chick is on my set. And sure enough, within 4 episodes, they wrote an episode that Michael and I were not in. It was Jerry and Elaine going to Florida. Very good episode, by the way. But there was no organic way for George and Kramer to be in that episode. And so Michael and I had a week off, and I came back in the following week, and we did the table read for the next episode, and then I went to Larry's office. I said, I got to talk to you. I said, I totally get it. I get it. It was a great episode. I said, if you don't need me to be here every week, I don't want to be here. So if you write me out again, do it permanently. And Larry went, what? What are you talking? Do you know what it is to find stories for 4 characters? And he's right. He's absolutely right. I mean, I can only imagine the hurdles you have to leap. But I was I was what I was. And I went, don't tell me your problems. I'm telling you, if you don't need me to be here, if I'm not vital to every episode of this show, I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. And they never did it to me again. They did it to Michael again, but they never did it to me again. So that was my one confrontation. I was not bluffing. The show was not an issue. The show, nobody was watching the show. This was not going to be a thing. I could go back to New York and do what I wanted to do. I still had my apartment in New York. My wife is, we've turned our life upside down to come be in Los Angeles because I'm going to be the number 2 guy on this show. And now they're writing me out of episodes. They paid me and they said, we gave you a week off. You got paid to do nothing. I went, I'm not interested in that. I was a little bit of a jerk. The other episode was an episode called Bris. The version of it that came to the table, the character of the Moyle was disgusting. I think it remains disgusting in the show that we did. But it was, you got to go a long way to hit my Jew button. I give you Jews are funny, and you can be really sacrilegious with me, and I'll take every Jew joke you got, even the borderline offensive ones. To a non-Jew, the whole practice of the circumcision, the bris, is mysterious and kind of distasteful, and to present the figure of the Moyle, the person who goes, I'm going to be the guy, my life's work is going to be to remove the foreskin from the genitals of young Jewish boys. That's what I devote my life to, is already a person of questionable character to the non-Jew. And to make one who is a child-hating, self-loathing, foul-mouthed, incompetent, to me was anti-Semitic in a hurtful way. And I went to Larry and I went, I won't be in this episode. This one you have to take me out of. I have to boycott this. And I said, you listen, exactly what I said to you. I'm up for every Jew joke you've got. This is an offense. And he didn't see it at first, and then he said, I'm going to soften it. I'm going to soften it. And I went, okay. And I still think it was, I'm not proud of that episode at all. I'm not proud of that portrayal. And I don't think it was a particularly good element in an otherwise pretty good episode. But those are the only two.